Our next question is from Jennifer at North Dade Middle School. She's wondering if it's necessary to charge the Volt or if it can just use gas.
Actually, if I were you, I would charge the Volt so that you can run it electrically all of the time. But if you wanted to use it on the extended range mode, you absolutely could. But I would highly request that you charge the vehicle and run it on its 40 miles because most people do. 76% of all Americans drive it within that 40-mile range or less.
Great. And an 8th grade class at Berrien Academy is wondering where you'll be able to take the Volt for repairs.
Yeah. We are basically announcing that we will be here in California to start. So anywhere we start marketing the vehicle, you will actually have dealership facilities who are fully trained and fully certified to be able to service your vehicles.
Okay. Great. And Brian at Wise Middle School has a follow-up question. He's wondering how many years will the Volt last?
The Volt should last as long as any one of your regular vehicles. We are putting the very, very basic warranty on the Volt, just like you would any other vehicle that you purchase from Chevrolet. So it should last as long as your current vehicle that you're in.
Great. We have a question now from Ganada Middle School. They're wondering if there's any other models planned for the future, any minivans, trucks, or SUVs for the same architecture.
We don't really discuss future product plans, but stay tuned. There will be more announcements made within a short amount of time in the next couple years.
Great. Eli at the Native American Community Academy is asking if you're driving the Volt on a dirt road, if there's a danger of dirt getting into the battery and somehow damaging it.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you that right now we have 80 pre-production vehicles out there and any number of 250,000 real-world miles, as well as all kinds of testing going through on the Volt. And our engineering and expert team have put the Volt through its paces. So there is no issues with running the vehicle through any normal conditions that you would drive it in any circumstance. So we will be sure that we test it properly so by the time we bring it out to the market that it has gone through all the rigor of testing for all of you.
Great. We have another question about the accessories of the vehicle. Someone's wondering if they'll be able to plug in the iPod in their Volt.
Good question. Very important these days that everyone's always there with their music, right? So absolutely the answer is yes, you will be able to plug in your iPod right into your Volt.
Great. But how is the Volt different from other cars? We've got a few questions in about that.
You know what? The Volt very simply is an electric vehicle that takes you further. You know, if I were to boil it down in a nutshell, it would be that. And the reason it's special is that you can drive it on your electric charge every single day and be emissions and tailpipe free. Or if you needed to take a longer trip to grandma's house, to a neighbor that's outside of the 40 miles, you can, and you'll go into the extended range mode. So I think it's special because it's an electric vehicle that actually takes you further, and you will not actually be worried about driving anywhere you need to go at any time. There should be no anxiety in driving the Volt whatsoever.
Great. Our next question is for Marisha Atkins at North Dade Middle School in 7th grade. She's wondering, in your personal opinion, Maria, if you think that the Volt is really going to make the environment better.
You know what? I've been working on this for a short amount of time, and I have to tell you that I am 120% convinced that the Volt absolutely will be a help and a boost to the environment. I would love to see everybody get into a Volt, an electric vehicle. The electrification of the auto industry must be exactly where we need to take this, and Volt is the very first step. And I'm very happy to say that Chevrolet is at the forefront of leading that technology. So yes, I absolutely believe it's going to be a huge impact. When you think about what you could save as far as the non-renewable resources that we use versus driving a Volt electrically all the time, the impact is tremendous. So absolutely, my personal opinion, I think it's a huge impact.
Great. And the girls at Berrien Academy would like to know what color the Volt comes in. I know we've got a contest going on right now, so it fits in really well.
Yes, actually, and thanks to all of you who maybe have joined in that color contest. You just mentioned it. We are going to be announcing the winner here very shortly in the next day or so. The Volt will come in probably about 8 colors at the most, and the colors will be revealed here very, very soon. And we do have one feature color for Volt in particular. That's what the contest is all about. We have a special name planned for it, as well as a winner to that contest here very soon.
Very cool. That'll be great when we get to find that out.
Yes.
Cool. And now the boys at the Berrien Academy on the other side, they want to know if it has a crash rating for safety.
Absolutely. As I said, our engineering team is putting real-world miles, real-world safety testing, just like we would on any other vehicle. At Chevrolet, we believe very strongly in making sure that our vehicles are 100% safe for you and your parents and your family. So we are putting the safety test through all its rigors, and the Volt will be certified. So thanks for that question. Good question from the boys.
Great. And now Brian at Wise Middle School again. He's looking for a little more clarification on the actual driving experience of the vehicle. He's wondering what happens when you start it. How do you actually start the vehicle?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. You know, no one's asked that question yet. And what you do when you get in the vehicle is you just push a button that's on the integrated center stack. So it is not with your key necessarily. You get in and you push a button. So if you take a good hard look at the area right there in the center, you can see where the button is.
Great. Very cool. Now Joshua at the Charles S. Mott Senior High School is wondering if GM is looking at solar cells or another way to help charge the vehicle besides actually plugging it in.
Yeah. Well, GM does look very much at the electrification of the automobile, and you may or may not know, Joshua, that we have had at General Motors a fuel cell program, which I would call a kissing cousin to the Volt as far as the electrification of the vehicle. But we have had a fuel cell program going for about 20 years, and then recently, within the last year and a half, we have had the Equinox fuel cell program. So GM absolutely is committed to looking at the electrification of the vehicle, with Volt being the first major expression of how do you drive electrically.